called The Travelling Sari. Her whims keep swerving and straying and sauntering and pottering, with gatherings and imaginings neatly pleated and tucked in. Those capers and occurrences keep perilously unravelling. As quest shall digress before drifting and ever rambling. Many trials are constantly dawdling and ambling, as dreams that are draped keep jolting and stammering, as deeds can't help but gape prior to meandering, and what's plain seems unfazed when swaying while travelling. So this poem is a slightly glossed over version of life, and it's called The Tiffin Carrier of Affinities. I hope you enjoy it. A tiffin carrier is a meal box originating from India and is used all over South Asia and beyond, and comprises of a stack of containers sealed with a metal frame. A carrier of home-cooked love and sunny skies above, of antidotes to murky greys, of random thoughts of bygone days, of thinking in italics and doing in bold, of being as young as one is old, of tea gardens and fields of green, of near and far adventuring, of a red sun and translucent moon, of a high tide at high noon, of capturing a moment before it has gone, of overcoming and of moving on, of cityscapes and rural paths, of mountaintops and fresh-cut grass, a carrier of home-cooked dreams, of ripples of a flowing stream, of coming in from the cold, of the wonderment as a night unfolds, of the elements and constellations, of marking endless occasions, of the heartiness of one's spirit and soul, of silver linings and crops of gold, of azure waves upon grand seas, of the rays of warmth and the gentlest breeze, of healing hearts as time shall pass, of making and remaking new starts, of when the sun and the moon are aligned, of tasting the blessings of a lifetime. This one is called My Chutney. If the world and I were boundlessly chummy, would I make chutney this rousing and ballsy? And if every moment were trivial and funny, would I make chutney this stirring and plucky? And if the sky were heartily, vividly, endlessly sunny, would I make chutney this grasping and gutsy? A lifetime of saris. Personal anthologies of experiences and memories blow on the washing lines, effortlessly, passionately. Lengths of heritage and customary expectations span across the trails of unity and separation, over continents and centuries, mournfully, jovially. Old and new traditions are woven with precision, marking ancestral cohesion from occasion to occasion. Ancient meets the present, ritually, aesthetically, and the practical necessity of comfort and functionality happen to coexist with the scintillating elegance of swaying continuity. Miscellaneous selections of untouched acquisitions that are plain as well as pattern remain hidden from visibility, like waves of faded history. In reach, the stars and the moon in their glory gleam with radiance in the distance amidst the smoky grey clouds that seem to barely drift while the glowing persists until they vanish from my conscious view and maybe won't be lost again soon, now that they're in reach upon a pink tatty note sheet in a lofty room. The busker near the Thames. There's a low-pitched, hurried, gasping sequence of broken phrases, while the singer beguiles many with impromptu gazes. She abruptly changes tempo as she sways in confluence with the wind. My heart beats ever faster as the cold air tingles against my skin. Losing all sense of time fondly seems akin to the mesmeric rawness of the sea's adrenaline. This one is called The Dead Fly in Her Lime Cordial and Soda Water. Far from inapparent was her subsequent abhorrence towards the sudden morbid presence amongst the sweet and tangy pleasance of such a fluorescent, luminescent, incessant effervescence that was an unattained indulgence during her mid-adolescence, when despite a shy hesitance, she asked for a replacement that came to be a triumph due to the absence of confidence that appeared no different from ceasing to be existent amid the fluorescent, luminescent, most effervescent pleasance during her mid-adolescence. This one is called My Very Favourite Discontinued Scent. Only as I settle for the least that is left of what is not to last, do I savour the most of what is meant, of what has passed. All the world's a stage, a phrase by William Shakespeare. All the world's a stage for us to trip and make blunders, to fall on our face and beat our chest like ailing warriors, to forget our poise and grace as we pose for the camera, to barely keep up a clumsy pace of shimmying to salsa. And as lines show on the face, they stretch with youthful wonder, for all the world's a stage, with kooky line-forgetting actors. Something about London. London is bursting with stories and piled up high with worries in the varied vicinities of local and global societies, where we are all as bland and as ordinary as we are tragic or aesthetic, or perhaps neither of those, or perhaps too otherwise engaged, and too out of pocket or too tired to be preoccupied by the grandeur and most extraordinary. During the rush hour, when life is intense and the populace is as dense as it is excessively impersonal, we do what we might as well, which is pretend that it is not at all. In this vast city, where we can be tiny and small amidst the vistas that are as great and as grand and as tall as the shrinking glories and crammed-in woes, and whilst there are parts of London where the vibrancy is immense, we may as well know who lives just over the fence. The weaver of dreams. It is through the early morning calm endurance of her nimble touch, often scrutinised for finesse. Those opulent colours bleed abidingly into the descending geometric motifs of a satisfying feat. Gently she threads the weft of her aspirations between the warp of her resignations. Dream weaver, weaver of dreams, strand after strand of new destinies. Her imagination is working row by row, pushing the weave together with the strength of her passions and an iron comb. She realises that her dreams may cease to end and become vaguely true, they might, as she weaves away into the glint of dawn and hope-filled daylight. Yesterday's skies. As a grey daylight disarmed its sparse ration of sustenance and charm, the late afternoon sunset offered a concessionary patch of glowing gold blended slats, glimmering up high in the October sky, holding a comparatively more intriguing pull on the eye. Last night, in the kitchen, over the gas-fired stove, I devoured another sky that I had not known. The fluffy white clouds escaped over boiled eggs as if for fun, as the fried, translucent onion moon glowed opposite a heated turmeric dull sun. The day and nights had become one. And here is a poem about growing up with my older sister, sharing a bedroom. It's called Bits of Bits. I pick bits of quotes and quips, of homemade savoury biscuits, of sketchbooks and sewing kits, of awkwardly shy party tricks, of things I forget to-do lists, of calamities and hissy fits, of impeccably perfect manners tips, of loose weaves and tight knits, of those I've known and dearly miss, of virtually ancient chart hits, of murky skies and stormy bliss, of bits of that and bits of this, of bits and bobs and bits of bits. Okay, so I'm a perpetually disappointed idealist, and this poem is called Peace. It was with the divine artistry of azure skies, and the rousing winds, immortal skies, and the crashing waves of brazen seas, that the will of peace took flight to be free. Okay, thank you.